Hello everyone, I am here today for a very important portion to cover. That is, what are the top 5 mistakes to avoid when we are preparing for CIB June 24 ABFM examination. Acha, one particular thing that I would like to tell you before I start with the session is that when we talk about ABFM is a very um, complex subject, yet simple. Complex in the sense that it has both numerical and theory, but if you focus on both the things together, why? Because they're covering the entire paper from now on. They're not being very selective towards modules. So technically, if you are not being selective, the paper is easier for you if you focus on the financial terms, because if you understand the content, everything becomes easier. That's one of the basic things to talk about before we proceed further. And if you like this session, please go ahead and click on the thumbs up, and at the same time click on the bell icon, get the further notifications of this particular channel, and subscribe to it as well. Acha, now let's begin with this particular era. What are the top 5 mistakes you should avoid? Okay. The first mistake you should avoid is number one, last day miracles. One of the basic things that I've always seen bankers telling us is that, ma'am, on the last day, na, give us all the important questions. I will do the last, on the last day only, na, I'll do everything. But the point is, you are also human. I am also human. If I tell you that I studied this entire book, I took my good sweet time to finish off the book and then I started teaching it. Then, right? So we do not misguide people that nay, the particular chapter will take hardly a few minutes. No, while I was reading it, I took some time, and then at the same time, when I was preparing your notes, I had gone through the book again. When we start teaching, then we go through the books again, and then when we start teaching, people think that, Arey, this particular chapter might be effortless, but it becomes effortless because every faculty who's teaching all these subjects, we go through that particular book hardly. I think when you start working now, you go through the book at least 4 to 5 times out of nowhere, out of blue. You would have gone through the book 4 to 5 times. That's how you develop that forte. So if you think that on the last day when you don't have anything else to opt for, you shouldn't feel upon the last day miracles. You should not depend upon it. Most of the bankers who had been depending that on the last day we'll think about it, just give us the most important chapter names and give us the most important topics. That's a blind game. You are playing a gamble and it can cost you another 6 months. What's the fun of putting yourself into that situation? So one particular thing to avoid is last day miracles. Don't think about I'll do it on the last day and I'll take an off during that period, because one of the weirdest things that happened with the bankers is they were dependent on the last day, and then on the last day they had to go to the office. So they were all prepared, कि ma'am, this time I'm just giving the examination. I'll give the examination next time again. So why to put yourself through that particular pain? Isn't it? It's not cool to go through the syllabus again. Not at all. You know? So that's the first point. Now comes the second point, everyone. What is the second mistake that you should avoid? That is, MCQ practice is the key. No, it's not the MCQ practice. People believe that MCQ is everything. But MCQ becomes everything if you know the concept. If you have no clue about the concept, you are just putting yourself into a lot of stress. MCQ practice is not the key. Concept is the key. If you know the concept, then everything is easier. But if you do not know the concept, you are putting yourself under such a situation where you are putting a lot of stress on yourself. Because if the same MCQ comes, you'll be good. If the same MCQ doesn't come, then what? The concept is not known to you. You just know the question and the MCQ answer. So your area or horizon of the examination is very, very limited. So technically, this is again a very scary situation. So this is the second mistake that you should avoid in every situation. Now comes the mistake number 3 that you should definitely avoid. Mistake number 3 is choosing and leaving topics. One of the basic things when people opt for the last day miracles, they are like, ma'am, just give us the marathon questions that you had given. We would like to go through the questions. I think this year, when I was giving the questions, all the important questions that I had made, I had taken out more than 500, 600 MCQs for ABFM this time. right? Just before the examination, when you're preparing it, you're taking different sessions, you're preparing for the paid, you're preparing for YouTube. So while preparing all that part, the question bank went up to 500, 600. And if you ask him, ma'am, on the last days, there were so many bankers who were still compiling. If you have gone through the syllabus, going through these 500, 600 MCQs is cherry on the top, right? But if you are thinking ki ma'am, what I'll do is I'll go through the most important one MCQs, and then I would like to leave this topic. Matlab, I think what happened was on the last day where I was, there is a particular chapter in your ABFM that is SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition Company. I was telling all the bankers that go through it. There's a specific chapter, the entire paid portal. I was telling people that you should go through this chapter very carefully. It's hardly I think it was in the revision. It was covered for 1.5 hour. It was all sorted. It's a very small chapter, hardly 10 pages. Imagine they had given good number of questions from that particular chapter. Almost 4 5 questions were there. Good 4 5 questions, right? And that too in every shift, morning, afternoon, evening. They had been basically uniform about this particular topic. Now comes the point that why are we choosing and leaving certain topics? If I talk about the situation right now is they are not covering one particular chapter. They're covering the entire subject. The examination has happened just twice. So can I say there is a sequence, or there is a uniformity, or there is a trend coming up? The trend is only one thing. All the modules are covered. Numerical covered, theory covered, numerical in the form of theory questions covered. Basically, bankers came and said that, ma'am, pata hai, you were asking us to do the lot of numericals, but in the examination there were no numericals. Then they look at the paper, and then the paper says that one particular formula is given in the question. You have to choose the formula. Then there was a good number of questions from a particular chapter, leverages. So 5 or 6 mark was there in terms of that particular chapter, because they added a case study. Three formulas, just three formulas, and you get 5 to 6 marks out of it. So isn't it a good scene? Isn't it something which is beneficial for you? So you should be very wise when it comes to choosing and leaving the topics. So that's one particular part that you should be absolutely clear about. Okay. Then comes the next point, the mistake number 4, avoiding mocks. Basically, na, acha everyone, I am a warrior. I am thinking to go to the war, but just before the war, I don't want to practice on the ultimate weapon that I am going to use. I'll just keep it there. I'll just keep it in front of me and say, I will use this sword like this, then I'll swing it, and then I'll put it here or there. I'll just keep it concealed. XYZ things. Those strategies are just strategies. I haven't held the sword yet. I don't know how heavy it is. I don't know how to swing it. But then when it comes to this examination, even the calculator is something that we choose. My calculator is something that I chose long back, and I practice on it every single day. So that means when I'm going to the examination, I won't be looking at, acha, where is the plus, where is the minus, where is the multiply? Nahin dekhna. I don't have enough time. So what will I do? I will use that calci. I will use that calculator, learn all those things. If you haven't gone through the examination paper pattern yet, what will happen? You don't know how many questions are going to be there. You don't know what is the paper pattern, and you don't know what is the quality of the questions that they want. So how do you justify yourself if you haven't gone through those things? So one particular thing that you should be absolutely clear about is you should go for the mocks, right? That is really important. Okay, so that's about avoiding the mocks. You should not avoid the mocks at all, because that is going to ruin your quality of the examination. Because you don't want to be surprised in the examination, because it's not a surprise, more or less. It's going to be a shock. कि अच्छा, this kind of question is asked. Okay, they are also adding this kind of question because recently CIB has introduced without option questions. Recently, ABFM was just introduced, so technically the entire book is new for you. Entire syllabus is new for the faculty as well as the students there, or the bankers who are giving the examination. So uncertain element is always there. So how do we work upon all these things? We have to go to the testing, vigorous testing ki theek hai, that that churns out the fear of losing the examination, not able to do the examination. It just helps you out in terms of your examination altogether. Now comes the next point, that is fifth, avoiding compiling of the last day missed material, study material. Matlab, what people do is, on the last day I'll see what I want to study on the last day. I'll see now, I'll just finish off whatever I'm studying and then I'll see what I'm going to do on the last day. You need to know what you're doing on the last day from the very first day. You saw something which is very difficult, mark it up. Remember that this particular part is difficult. You are using phones now, you are using laptops now. Just keep a bookmark of it. If it's a specific class where you thought ki nahi, arey, this particular topic is really important, what do? You note down the class number, you note down the time at which it was told, and you note down that particular process. You note down the numerical that you found very difficult and you want to do it again. You won't remember it after 30, 40 classes. Rather, after 7 classes, you won't remember what was that important point that you discussed in that class. How can we just rely on human memory so much while it is normally filled with stresses and office work and family and everything else? We need to jot it down now what I'm going to do on the last day. Not talking about what we are going to do in the beginning or not. You have to sort out the material that you're going to read on the last day. Okay, so that's the number fifth mistake that people mistake. These are the top 5 mistakes that people normally make when they are going for this examination, while they have to be very clear about what they are doing and how to basically pursue for this examination. Acha, now I've just told you what are the mistakes that they should avoid and what exactly the entire portion is. Now, let me just give you a brief information. Our ABFM batch is just about to start. That means I'll be starting with the ABFM soon. So, if you're thinking ki you would like to join, then the first thing that you should do is don't wait for the last day miracles. Join the batch as early as possible. The demo would be available on YouTube. Go through it, check it out, and let me know that if just join the particular batch if you feel that it is helpful for you now. So ultimately it depends upon you, when do you want to start, because the moment you decide to start is the moment where you have at least initiated the process of winning the battle, right? Small things, but definitely this move really talks about a lot. So let's talk about our 24/7 website. Acha everyone, if you're looking forward to buying these particular plans, or you want to take up any of those courses, then go ahead and check it out on JI in the area of JIB and CIB vertical. The best part is at this point of time 81% discount is going on along with double validity. So this is the best time where you can buy this. What you need to do is go on to the area of CIB June 2024. As you can see, this is the Nishchay batch and we have two batches. Nishchay is for bilingual and Scholars is for the area of the English medium. And this is where you can take all the 4 subjects together. But the point is, if you want elective as well, then go for CIB Mahapack. It includes all the 5 electives. Matlab, go through each and every elective, see every elective, and find out which is something that is effortlessly understandable to you. Effortlessly means you don't have to put a lot of pressure on your mind. Don't go for the adventure right now ki nahi, I would like to learn a new subject. You can do that, but the point is, when you are trying to do that, it might cost you another 6 months. So you should always be doing something where the fifth subject is very, very easy. You don't have to work really hard. So you can focus on the other 4 more. So let's be practical. You're all already working. A lot of stress is already there. So you get a particular chance there. Under Mahapack, you get English medium bilingual. You get test series, you get ebooks, you get the recorded videos. You will also get the live videos. Along with this, you will also receive the particular 10 plus hours of mini marathon, 5 plus hours of the Maha marathons. All these things are available. You have to just click on the area of Y541 and get the discount of 81%. That is 6499 rupees there. So go ahead and check it out on our website and our app for further details, everyone. So that's it for the day, and look forward towards all these things that you should avoid when it comes to the CIB exam. So thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.